Welcome back, you guys. So today we're going to go ahead and work on this LuLu's ball gown that I bought 3 years ago. I never wore it and I just thought the bottom is pretty beautiful to make a skirt. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing we're going to go ahead and do is use a seam ripper and just tear apart the seams. I mean, separate the bodice from the skirt. And I also did the straps of this top, but I ended up not needing them. I didn't really like how it fit me, so we'll set that aside. The first thing we're going to go ahead and do with this skirt is go ahead and match up the side seams. This will help us convert the circle skirt that this bottom half is and create a half circle. So here we are just going to go ahead and measure the length of the skirt. I decided to do a 28-inch skirt, so right below my knees, and we'll just measure from the bottom since it's beautifully hemmed already, and I'm going to do it from the bottom up and just start pinning for reference on where to cut. It is circular up top, so make sure you keep that shape as well. Once you have it pinned all the way, you're going to go ahead and just chop away this extra fabric so we can use it for the waistband. We'll go ahead and set that aside once we get done cutting, and we're just going to focus on the skirt. Next, we're just going to go ahead and focus on the pleats. This took forever. Oh my god. The pleats I didn't put into consideration how many inches, or like it's probably half an inch or about an inch of a pleat, but because it was the widest part of the skirt that we are using, I had to make sure it was made just for my waist, which was around 35 inches. So I just spent a whole bunch of time figuring out double pleats, triple pleats in order to get the correct circumference for my waist. So if you have this issue as well, if you're not dealing with a pleated fabric, I bet it's so much easier, but this is what we have to do since it is pleated. This is what it looked like when I was done. From the back, I did put a lot of the weight of the fabric in the back just because I think it's a little bit more flattering and not bunched up so much in the front. So the back, I did about single pleats and then did a row of double pleats and then again single pleats. Flipping it over in the front, I ended up needing to release some of the pleats, and I did that in a nice fashion so it doesn't look too weird. The center, I have 4 pleats, and then right around my hip joints I did put 2 pleats. So just mess around with it to make sure it fits your body and complements your body. And sew along just to stabilize. Here I decided to keep the lining of the skirt. The satin is not see-through, so I don't have to, but to be sustainable, I'm going to go ahead and use it. Here I'm doing the opposite that I did measuring the skirt prior. I am measuring from the top to the bottom, and I kept about 3 inches shorter than the main skirt just so the lining is not going to peep out. You can decide if your lining needs to be hemmed or not. Mine was fine not. I tried and it got jammed in my sewing machine, so I just decided to leave it plain. Now that your skirt pieces are set aside, you can go ahead and work on the waistband. Here is the top of the skirt that we cut off, and we ironed it to make it nice and smooth. What we're going to go ahead and do, it's awkward because it's circular, you want to cut some squares out of this. So I just use this handy dandy ruler and use that as the basis, about 6 inches, and I cut as much of the square as I could evenly out. You can always double check your waist measurement and make sure that the fabric that you have is going to be enough. If not, you may need to look for a substitute fabric. Out of that excess fabric, I was able to get 1 long square and then 2 smaller squares. I went ahead and sewed them together, creating 1 long strand. I then ironed the edges over for a perfect hem and then folded it in half and ironed in place. Now that we have our waistband exterior ready, we're going to add a stability fabric. So what I went ahead and used was a muslin fabric. This I have used on a prior skirt, and I like how it helped keep the waistband from really crinkling in over time and use of wear. When you do this, you want to make sure the muslin is going to be slightly smaller than the waistband because it will sit inside. Once you have your muslin piece completed, make sure to iron it so it is nice and flat and smooth to fit inside of the waistband itself. Now that we have all our pieces together, we can go ahead and put them officially together. So first I'm going to go ahead and attach the lining to our main fabric and make sure the wrong sides are touching each other because you want the nice part of the lining touching your body. Now that we have that completed, just go ahead and locate the center part of your waistband and make sure you align that with the center portion of your skirt. And just go ahead and start pinning them together. I'm not gonna lie, I low-key forgot about the zipper. So make sure you grab a zipper and left at least enough space for your zipper to be placed in there. So because I have a lining, I'm basically going to fold the outer lining in and the inner lining out so that they nicely are hemmed around the zipper. They're always very finagly, my favorite word, so just take your time with the zipper. I finally learned how to use my zipper foot, which was amazing. It came out perfect, and I think I'm going to use it all the time now. So I also made it slightly more invisible because I had the pleat to kind of fold over that, so it was great. So now you can officially finish putting the waistband around the skirt. Once your waistband is all done, I love how it turned out. I did put already an extra hook and eye there to help me keep the overlapping portion of my waistband in place. If it's too long, go ahead and chop and then nicely hem the edge. I did also put 2 buttons here, but after just filming the reveal, I needed to add another hook. So make sure you see what little tools you will need. And we're all done.
La patrona la designa, pero mira como vaina, girl. La patrona la designa, pero mira como vaina, girl. Es lo que te llevases, ay, aquí competencia ya no hay. Nadie se compara a tu style, por eso andamos fire, por eso andamos. De todas las que es la number one.